We are heading into the Riviera Resort to do some painting. Well, at least the older girls are.
My name's Melissa. I'm going to lead you guys through our Orange Bird today. A couple quick things before we get started. The canvas that you have, it is an 11 by 14. It's a gallery wrapped canvas. So whatever you see on the front, you are more than welcome to take that color and carry it around the edges as well. I didn't paint the bottom of this guy, but at the bottom, just save that for the end, and we'll just get some of the grass color across the bottom painted on there. The paint we use, it's water soluble acrylic, so it's going to come off your hands with soap and water. If you get it on your clothes, it comes out in the wash. It's non-toxic, so if you eat it, nothing's going to happen. Okay, there's no rules. If at any point you guys want to change what you're doing, go rogue, add things, go crazy, go for it, okay? I'm just going to be your guidelines for today, okay? But make it yours. I do him twice a week, every week, all month long, so I've got a lot of copies of this one, okay? So I like to see what you guys, your spin on it is. Take a look at your group of brushes. Everyone should have 4. Go ahead, I'm going to have you guys take the rubber band off and go ahead and drop them into your water cup like this, bristle side down. That's the best place to keep them. That way they don't fall off the table into your lap or into your neighbor's lap. So just chuck everything into that water cup. If at any point you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, okay? Got some kids in this class. That means you guys will ask the questions that the adults are afraid to ask. Okay? I will go through a whole entire adult class and nobody will ask me a single question because they're afraid to. I want you guys to ask all the questions that they're afraid to. All right? Anytime you need more paint, too, let me know, all right? I've got lots of it up here. So we're going to start to fill in our sky around Orange Bird. You can see mine's very abstract. You can see all of my brush strokes back there. I'm going to use my great big yellow handle brush to do that. So go ahead and get your great big yellow handle brush. You don't have to completely dry it off. It's a water soluble paint, so it likes a little bit of water to help soak into all the nooks and crannies. So to get this nice light blue, so we want to keep it really, really light, I'm going to use about 90% white. So get a big chunk of white. Big chunk of white. And then you just want to get the teeny, teeny, tiniest, and I'm going to double dip my brush, watch this, tiny, tiny little quarter dot of blue. The tiniest little bit of blue you can grab. When I fill in my canvas, I'm going to do a brush stroke like this, a crisscross X shape. The reason I do that is I'm going to get the bottom of the weave of my canvas and the top of the weave of the canvas, okay? Because this is all woven together. So when I do it this way, I'm getting the bottom. When I do this way, I get the top. So then I just kind of speed it up to look like this. Pretty cool?
You do.
When I get really close to Orange Bird, what I do is I'm going to take my bristles and touch, and I'm just going to drag it like this all the way around. So I'm not lifting up my brush yet, I'm just kind of dragging it, just like that. And that's how I get that really sharp edge. And I'll do it over here, I'm just going to touch and just drag it along Orange Bird. Okay? But we're going to color all of this in. Okay? Everything, including the sides. Alright? Have at it. Every once in a while, don't forget, take your brush, dip it in that water cup, get a little bit of water. It should be really, really nice, light, pale blue. If it looks too dark, grab a big chunk of white and blend it through there, lighten it up. You should be smearing the paint as far as you can go. You don't ever want to have it so thick it feels like you're frosting a cupcake. Take your time to get Orange Bird filled in. If there's any sections that you need to do a second coat on, you have plenty of time. We can let them dry because we're going to bounce down to the grass. And as we're making the grass down there, you can always come back, cover up anything you need to inside our Orange Bird. And when I do the grass, we're going to use a couple different colors. We're going to use green all by itself. We're going to use green with some yellow in it. And we're even going to make our green dark, so we're going to use green with some black too. And that's how we get all these different tones down here. Different colors of it. So I'm going to show you guys. The brush that I'm going to use is that small yellow one. So go ahead. Anytime you need to clean your brush, scrub it. Scrub it on the bottom of that water cup, back and forth a few times. Get all of your color out. Scrub it really good, like an eraser. So when I pick pick up my paint to make the blades of grass with this one, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to lay it flat like this, and then I flip it and I lay it flat again. Just like that. That way, right there where all the bristles come together, that's called the knife edge, where they're all nice and sharp. If at any point I had this, take a look at my brush, a big glob like that, I'm not going to get a really thin blade of grass. So if this ever happens and you're really thick and puffy, take your brush and scrape it on the side of your plate like that, flip it and scrape it again, and it goes right back to that nice sharp point, okay? That nice thin blade of grass, so you can use that nice sharp edge of that brush. All right, so green paint, and you guys can practice this on that piece of paper, okay? That's covering the table before you do it on your canvas. So, I like to do this style. I start at the bottom and pull up.
Which way are you holding the paintbrush?
Just like this.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You can make the point, so if you start at the top and pull down, I would do the pointy part up.
Right.
But I'm starting at the bottom and pulling up, so my pointy part's down.
Down. Okay.
So I think it's a left brain, right brain thing, whether you start at the top like this and pull down, or you start at the bottom and pull up. But they all kind of look the same. Okay, so whichever way feels comfortable to you. So this is just green grass, and I kind of speed it up and I start to pull really fast. But this is Disney grass, it grows really straight, right? So I want to take some of them and I'll bend them this way, and I'll make some and I'll go this way, right? So I want them to be different heights. This is what it looks like with green all by itself. If I want to take a little bit of my black, just a tiny little dot of it, and darken up my green a little, and I'll show you what color this looks like. So we're going to darken our green, and I'll pull some up this way. And see how it's just a little bit darker?
Right.
So then the grass has some tones, different tones of green to it. Highlights, lowlights. So green with a little bit of black. And then let me clean my brush. I always save the green with the yellow for last. It's my highlight. So a little bit of yellow and green together. And this is what the grass is going to look like. A little bit of yellow and green. Okay, so we're going to play with those three different tones of green as we make the grass. And we're just over and over, just keep pulling lines coming up. Everybody practice a little bit on that paper. So you can pull up from the bottom, pull down from the top, have some go sideways, left, right. If you get a really thick one, don't worry, we'll stick a flower on it. Go ahead and take your canvas and set it on the lip of the easel too, that way you go all the way to the very bottom. So see how mine's just sitting up here out of that groove? So lift it up out of the groove and just set it right there on the edge of your easel. If you're pretty good with this brush and you want to even try it with a great big yellow one, you can too. I go pretty quick so I don't think about which way they go. And to keep my brush thin, every time I go to pick up paint, I'm laying it flat. I flip it and lay it flat again. So you can use a little bit of water with your paint too to help it glide across there if it feels like you're dragging. And nothing else is really going on top of this, so if you're laying it down pretty thick, your paint is heavy, it is okay. Take your time, get all of the grass in. Some of the things that we're going to work on after that is going to be the leaves on his feathers, his tail feathers, his plume there. Don't be nervous, I'm going to have you guys draw them in white versus green. That way if you don't like it, it can be hidden back into the background like it never ever happened. Take your time, a little bit more on the grass. Same thing, if you want to go back and add more later, you can. Or is easy, just make sure you're changing your tones. You have a dark green with that black. You have yellow with some green. You can even do yellow by itself as a highlight through there as well. And in just a minute, we'll get started on doing his the leaves on Orange Bird, his plumage, his feathers. If you want to, just like the grass, if you want to try drawing this on the paper first, you can. You can also draw them in white. If it makes you nervous, you can draw them in white and then paint them in green, because that way if you don't like them, they can be blended into that background and nobody will know that it ever happened. So I've got 2 leaves coming out on the top of his head. The first one, I'm just going to start, so let me show you on here. To do the leaves out of the top of his head, I just kind of start with a arch, and then I bring another arch to it. Another way, if it makes it easier too, is just to draw a line outwards where you want the leaf to go, and then build the leaf off of that line. Okay, so if you want to freehand it, or you can do the line and we'll build it off of that. So I'm just going to start here, and these can be as big and as puffy as you want. They can be crazier. Mine kind of like on an angle right between his eyeballs here. Is where they're going. Okay, so right off the top of his head. You can go ahead and color them in when you're ready. You can use green by itself. You can use green with a little yellow. Right in this zone right there, that's where I'm going to attach his arm. So that dot right there. I'm going to start that. That's where I'm going to attach it. I'm going to make a nice big kind of smiley face shape. I know it's scary. I'm going to bring it pretty far out into my painting like this. So one big green smiley face out into my painting.
Goes the paint.
You know what? Wait, let me make a suggestion real quick.
Don't be scared.
I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go this way. You think that's a bad idea?
From that, I'm going to go ahead and close it off. So you can start out here at the end and pull backwards. You can bring it down this way. It should look like a slice. Just like that. That is his arm. He's a leaf.
Oh, you know what?
But towards the back here is his other arm. So right under what would be his chin, I'm just going to draw a triangle right here for his back arm. Back here. I'll paint that a little bit lighter.
Destroyed it.
Straight down, right out of his chin for attention. Go ahead and color his arms in. Depending on the color of your orange, you might need 2 coats on his leaf here if you still see his body through it. So you keep that in mind. You may need 2 coats if you still see his body through your green. I'll come around and help if you need help.
Trying to see what's up here.
So one more thing that we're going to do before we start to do the flowers. So we're going to give his eyeballs a nice coat of white. The reason we're going to do that now is if some people have got some orange in there and need to do 2 coats, they'll have plenty of time for it to dry. Because once we color in his eyeballs, we're going to start to work on the flowers. And as soon as everyone's flowers are done, we're going to start at the top of our painting with all of our black details and then all of the white details. So we'll finish off with white and black together. Okay? So I'm going to use my tiny little brush, just a little bit of white paint, and I'm going to coat inside of his eyeballs. My pinky is down for stability. If you color outside the line using white, don't try to make his eyeballs bigger and bigger and bigger. Just take some orange and color it back over. So if you do take the white outside the line, don't try to make his eyeballs bigger. Make it smooth. Just take the orange and hide the white. If you don't hide all of your orange the first time, let it dry, hide it the second time, because if you do too many brush strokes over the top, you will start to reactivate your orange. Covered here.
Oh no, mine's dripping. I heard an oh no. I'm bad at painting. At a certain point, everything just starts falling apart.
You can always add a second coat if you need to. And don't do too many brush strokes on top of something that you start to reactivate the color underneath. All right, you guys ready for some flowers? You guys stick with that big brush. You're gonna have a big flower. Okay, disappeared. So for the flowers, we're gonna use the big blue brush, so large blue handle one.
Okay.
If you want your hydrangea, your puffy flowers to be blue and white, you can add a little purple and blue together. I do have red if you want to make pink ones. You can do all of the colors that are on your plate. It is completely up to you. But the way I'm going to pick up my paint is I'm going to grab some white, and you can see I'm doing this down and up, and then I'm going to bounce over here near my purple, down and up, down and up. I don't want to stir it completely together. It kind of looks like a candy cane. You see a little bit of purple, a little bit of white. I want to keep that look to it. My brush is really thick and puffy. I've got a lot of paint on there. And I'm going to pick a blade of grass, and I'm just going to tap it like this right onto my canvas. So tap, 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 tap. All right, so for the flower in front of Orange Bird's face, mine is about 3 fingers by about 3 or 4 fingers. It is pretty big. I'm going to start tapping right here around the tip of his hands. I'm going to go all the way up towards his eyeball here. If you need to sneak in a nose, we can. Some people's flowers are so big, we don't even have to sneak a little beacon. So see this little yellow arch? Some flowers are so big, we don't have room to sneak a beacon. So at the end of the class, if you feel like you can sneak one in there, we'll do a little yellow arch there for his beak. But if you don't have enough room, don't feel bad. But I'm gonna go all the way up here, his eyeballs, all the way down around his hands, one big kind of puffy circle. Pretty big. Big flower.
Oh, with your arms, I see.
She's upset because it's not
perfect.
the eyes.
It looks great, Abigail. You know what? The thing about painting and doing art is that it's gonna look. Everybody's is gonna look different because everybody does it
If you look at
differently.
everybody's picture, it's
Everybody,
all different.
even though we're all painting the same thing, everybody's looks different. That's the whole point.
Scaring me with the table.
So just because yours doesn't look like hers doesn't mean it doesn't look nice. It just means it looks like yours.
Worry about his arm. If his arm is still really wet, we're gonna go starting at the top, and we're gonna do eyebrows and eyeballs. Okay, so he does have 2 arched eyebrows over the top of his eyes. So I got cleaned out my brush because I just want to take the very tip of that bristle, dip it in the paint. Definitely gonna have my pinky out for this part. So 2 eyebrows right over the top of his eyeballs. There we go. Eyebrows.
That's how weird.
Definitely failed eyebrow.
His eyeballs I have pointing up towards the corner of my canvas, about the size of a dime. They're right along the edge of the inside of the circle there, the outer circle. So I just kind of draw the letter C up there, and then I'll color it in. So I'm just taking that line instead of the letter C, and then I'll color them in.
No, I did something here. That's it.
What do we do if we mess up the black eyebrow? And if it's like really smudgy?
Okay, I'll just let it dry, and then we can coat it with some orange and white together, but it has to dry.
Yeah, gotta wait.
The black has to dry. The next place that we're gonna do some black is underneath his chin. So this is what's gonna pull his head and his body and give him kind of 2 separate body parts. So right underneath, I'm gonna follow the shape of the circle. I have a little bit of it coming out right here underneath. And I'm just gonna follow that shape of the circle right to the other side. So you're gonna pull that line right across, keeping in that circle shape.
Oh boy, this is round. This is great.
you would like to add some black detail, you can. On this one, I have a little bit on the edge of his stomach where the orange and the yellow touch. I have a little bit down here near his tail. Anywhere that you want to give it a little bit of an outline. I don't ever completely outline a cartoon character because it's going to pull it off and look like a coloring book image when you do every black line. But if you want to do a little bit of a detail maybe in the corner of his eye, anywhere else that you want to put a little bit of a black outline, feel free to.
Oh, please don't even come over here.
Yeah.
Look at my eyes.
I like it.
You look.
Yeah, I like them. They all came out good.
I'm still trying to fix the eyes.
Put a little dot of white like Olivia did.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I'm out of white and I need to
Came out good, Hosanna.
That way we have your
For one or for the little dots. Oh, no. Don't stop.
Are you doing some painting, my baby? What are you painting? Blue. Yeah, you're painting blue. Daddy's doing the painting.
She was helping before. It's just
Are you helping?
she got busy watching the movie.
You're watching a movie?
Yeah.
I need some white, please.
white. Sure.
All right, that's awesome, Noah. Dinosaur.
Velociraptor, Mom.
You like it?
Yeah.
You having fun?
Yeah.
See, it's fun. Just stick her hand in the paint and put her handprint on it and call it a day. Paint her name on it. Serious.
I know what it looks like. It's a, it's like...
This is such a nice activity.
Okay, right.